Hey everyone, today I'm going to talk to you and show you a really simple river fishing technique, and that is indicator nymphing, fishing a nymph beneath an artificial indicator. Now it's a really effective technique. It's not one I actually do that much, I must confess. The reason for that is it's not a competition legal technique, strike indicators, so I tend to just use a dry fly as my indicator, so bear that in mind when you're watching this. A lot of what I'm talking about does apply to fishing a nymph below a dry or a dry dropper. But look, it's a really good one if you're not expecting to catch a fish on a dry. You can see the river today, it's slightly off color, it's high, it's late season, so it's very cold. The odds of me catching them on a dry are quite slim, and I don't need to worry about fishing multi-fly rigs, getting tangles, any of that stuff. So fishing a single nymph there beneath a little pinch on indicator I've got will be perfect and really effective. Now, if you were fishing a bigger river than this and heavier nymphs, you might want to go to like a yarn indicator or a thingamabobber, one of the big bobbers that goes on the end of the line, just to hold a heavier nymph up. But because I'm fishing, as you can see, smallish size river, my nymph bead size is going to be like 2.5 to 2.8, not too heavy. A little pinch on indicator like that is super simple, and it'll suspend the nymph and be easy to see. So that's what I'm going to do today, and I hope you learned something. Let's go do it. I'm just setting up my leader here, and what I'm going for today, what I've got a leader that's about a 10-foot base. That is one I've constructed myself out of Maxima Chameleon, but it's like roughly a 10-foot leader there. I've got a tippet ring on the end there. From my tippet ring, I'm just tying on here some 7X fluorocarbon, and I'm gonna pop the pinch on indicator just beneath the tippet ring there, and I'm gonna try and I reckon I'll try and fish probably 60 to 70 centimeters between my nymph and my indicator. For a river this size, that'll be a really nice length, and I can adjust my depth depending on the pace of the water by varying my bead weight, so the millimeters in diameter of my tungsten bead. All right, so I'm all rigged up. My fly I've tied on there is a little silver beaded pheasant tail. I do have the tying for that on the channel as well. Now, I'm going to place on a pinch on indicator here up on my leader. So, I'm going to grab one of these guys out. All you do is you peel off the backside here, because you obviously want that bright color to see. Make sure you throw away all of the disposable parts of it, and once you're finished with these, make sure you throw them out. Don't just chuck them on the river's edge. Now what you do is, if I can get this right, you're going to lay this line through that middle part here, and then you're going to pinch this together, and that'll stick like that, and that is going to be your indicator, and then my nymph will be beneath it. So that's the game. Alright, this piece of water here is a lovely one for indicator nymphing. It's flat, you know, complex currents, fast water, it doesn't like it so much. I'd rather Euro nymph that water, but this smooth stuff here should be lovely. So we're gonna get close to the fish, because you can see it's quite, you know, it's off color today. So they're good nymphing conditions, but it also means we can get quite close to the fish. So I'm just gonna start short, there's a lot of trees behind, and then we'll lengthen out as we go. You can see it stands out so nicely, very easy to see. Hard thing about the color of the water at the moment is I'm not going to be able to see the bottom structure, so I may get stuck on some sticks or some logs, but that's just part of it. A lovely seam up there where those two currents join. There he is. He ate that quite early, and we did call it. a nice little brown. Oop, and the fly's popped out. It's a lovely little fish. We did call that as being a nice spot. You can see people often ask, what is a seam? The seam is just the joining of two currents of a different pace, or some structure and a current, something like that. So that's happening up there. We've got the water tumbling up here. We've got that. We've got this nice long pocket, and there's a slow current and a fast current side by side there. Just up there is where he was. So you get a nice slow drift. In these conditions, it's also always worth considering putting on, you know, a worm or a mop or a big stonefly, something like that, to fish through your run as well, because, you know, sometimes they do want to eat big. They can be quite aggressive in the coloured water here. This spot over here looks nice. You see, you can reposition your indicator there like you would with a mend, just to keep your drift coming. So you can pick up your indicator, pop it back down, and keep the drift going if you don't like where it's heading. Should be one there. Again, lovely soft stuff up here. Hard to kind of make a nice long cast, so it's going to utilize the long leader. Oh, and chuck it straight into that tree. No, I'm just going to flick it up there, get it into this soft water, and get that drift coming down nicely. So there's going to be a fish here. He'll be in this nice, slow, soft stuff. That's the spot. There he is. That took so many casts. As you saw, I completely stuffed up the cast before. Nice small little guy. Geez, it just shows you though, you got to take the time to get the cast right. That took a lot of casts to get him to eat. I just had to try and get it through those trees. There he was. That's a lovely brown. Geez, that drift took quite a long time. Ah, beautiful fish. Jump down. I was fishing from the bank, so I didn't have to get in because it's quite awkward here. But there you go. Lovely little trout. Beautiful brown. And he's eating the silver-beaded pheasant tail there, despite how, you know, high and dirty the water is. You can see there the old pinch on indicator helped me find him. Then a lovely bit of soft water here. Gonna roll up, get that nice drift down through that even pace current. There he was. He ate that so early, you would have seen. I was making a mend. I was saying you got to try and keep that line out of the tail out current here, so it doesn't drag the drift, and he'd already eaten it. What a beautiful fish. That's an absolute stunner. I'm really expecting my fish to come when I move across into that main seam, but I'm just making these casts first, just to rule the side water out. This is my primary water here. For a little mend. Maybe it needs to be a little further across on that line there, in that seam. Oh, I reckon that was one I just missed. All right, I reckon I might finish up my little session here and demo of this technique for you. In this run or that one, hopefully we catch fish. So, this seam here, this beautiful bubble line, you've got the fast current on the left, it wraps around this corner. You've just got this nice soft inside section. You know, May, this time of year, cold water, that's where they're going to be, and that's where you would, when you look back at this video, when I look back, that's where they have been today. So let's have a look. Should be another nice little brown sitting up somewhere up here for me. I just saw that move really weirdly. Anything that happens with your indicator that's just not quite right, it's always good to strike. There he is. Oh, that's a really nice one. Get him on the reel. That's a beautiful fish, and he was exactly where we thought he'd be, in that bubble line. What a lovely trout. That is spectacular. There we go. Stunning colours. You can see little nymph. I mean, the water's dirty. I'm still fishing a small fly. These fish are really good at finding it. Pop that out there and say goodbye. That's a lovely fish. Alright, this will be my last run, whether I catch them or not, I reckon. Nothing's changed, hopefully just reinforcing the same things here. Really seek out that nice even flat water, get that nymph landing upstream from your indicator nicely there. Utilise the long drift and the flat water. A very bizarre take. Went down so softly. It's a nice fish. That is a nice trout. Oh, lovely fish. That is another cracker. Beautiful brown trout. Little perdigan. How cool is that? Well, there's my morning done. Wrapped up that little session. I hope you enjoyed this video. Something a little different, me talking about a technique and its application. A lot of the videos I go and fish and it ends up kind of becoming you know, a bit of a technique video anyway, but this time I specifically went out to do this. You saw where it's at its best in that flatter, softer water, and that's time of year based as well. But super simple setup there, 9-foot 3 weight. It's just great. You need a box of nymphs, some pinch on indicators like that, and or yarn indicators, thingamabobber, and away you go. So thanks for tuning in. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel to see more content like this. Like the video as well, that really helps promote it so other people learn as well. And don't forget all the gear, head to nervouswater.com.au. You'll find a lot of information on the gear that I'm using here. I'll put it in the description below, and use the discount code TOM10 if you want a 10% discount there. So thanks for tuning in, and I will see you guys next video.